Everyone these days is interested in their roots and they know what their roots are. But I believe that we've got to explore everywhere. You've got to explore the sky too. Now, I didn't come up with that quote. That was from Mick Jagger in 1972, just after the release of their absolutely fantastic, groundbreaking Exile on Main Street album. And that's a quote that's stuck with me for a long, long time. Now, as you know, I'm really passionate about something called future literacy. This is a whole range of skills and capabilities that enables us to take things for the future, see things that are coming from the future, and implement today to improve our outcomes. But one of my other heroes had an idea that I really loved, and that was Muhammad Ali. Now, we all remember Muhammad Ali for his boxing, for his big mouth, and his humour. And one of the things he said was, I believe in creating future histories. Now, he used that obviously in the boxing ring, but I'm going to use it to try and help you understand where I'm coming from with future history. Now, one of the things I speak about all the time is something called digital twins. Now, if you don't know what that is, let me put it into a future history story context and see if it helps. The year is 2080, and my name is Kuno. Now, I'm about to go and have a chat with my son, who is only in his 30s, but I think there's a few things I can teach him. Being one of those switched on millennials, I reckon I can really, really help him understand how we got to where we got to today. So, in that conversation, I talk about him and I talk about his health. Stepping into 2080, how will today's millennials react when faced with someone in their early 20s? Well, I can imagine conversations where they talk about things like, for example, health, and they say, do you know, a long time ago, it wasn't just humans that had digital copies made of them. It all started with machines. And in fact, your grandfather used to work with companies. You might remember them. There was a thing called cars, and those cars and those engines in the cars were made by a company called Rolls-Royce. And Rolls-Royce were one of the first companies to develop a digital twin of the engine. If you can imagine, what they did with engines was they would basically create a digital copy, and that digital copy would enable people at Rolls-Royce to look at the engine, to manage it, to test out new parts to it, to repair it, and do all of that in a safe and efficient way. I mean, now, even before you were born, your mum had so many sensors on her tummy you would not believe, and they knew what you would be like as you developed as a child into adulthood. And that's why you had that operation on your heart, because they discovered when you were only 6, when they were checking out the probabilities of things going wrong in your digital self, they saw something going wrong with one of the walls. And they thought, we better repair that. And that's why heart disease is almost gone. But they knew what your personality was likely to be like. And that's why you were helped with the way you learnt at school. Can you imagine life without having a digital you? And that's the sort of conversation that I want to encourage people to have when they engage me as their keynote speaker or to run their executive development events.